Oh, so what's been happening? Well, all sorts. So last weekend was bodypower, and as you've probably well aware, in the past I've been quite critical of the event. This year I was split between Medichecks and Strong Nutrition. I also ended up doing an impromptu Q&A session with Scott Stevenson on the Bodypower Evolution stand. So, you know what? From what I saw, and I didn't see a lot of the show because I was kept pretty busy between those stands. I ended up having to travel there and back every night because I was helping out at a friend who has a wedding function business, doing some security for him. So basically, I got up at 6:30 on Friday morning, worked Friday night till 1:30. Well, 1:30 by the time I got home and got to bed. Got up at 6:30 on Saturday, drove down to Bodypower, stayed at Bodypower till 4, got there for 9. Drove back home, got back for 6, started work at 7, got to bed about 1:30, got up again at 6:30 Sunday morning, got to Bodypower for 9, left at 4, and drove back, got home 6:30 Sunday night. So, literally had about 10 hours sleep in 48 hours. One of the reasons why, as you probably noticed, my face has had a bit of an outbreak. It always does when I get run down. I was food. In fact, so much so that I didn't train till Tuesday, and that was a bit subpar. And I didn't actually get up this morning till 10 o'clock, and I'm pretty much normally out of bed at 6:30 every morning. So, I was knackered, to say the least. However, the event. Now, I didn't see a lot of the show. And I think if I was going just as a customer, I probably wouldn't attend at all. Just, for me, it doesn't offer much apart from really catching up with old friends. Having said all that, there does seem to be pretty much something for everybody. Now, a lot of people moan about the Instagram celebrities, and I'm not a fan of them, and one of my big bones of contention with them is that they are popular, they exercise their channels in order to make themselves popular, and as a result, they're not always very truthful, and they tend to go with whatever's going to make them popular rather than sticking to the truth. You generally find that people who stick to the truth aren't that popular because it's not exciting, it's not trendy, and it's not with it. So that's my big issue with them. But, they put a lot of effort into their channels, and if people want to stand there for 3 hours to meet them, then that's fine. There's criticism that bodybuilders don't do that. Well, that's not their job. You see, these YouTube celebrities and Instagram celebrities, that's effectively their job. That's their career, popularity. A bodybuilder's career as a pro is to win shows. And I don't think anybody will fully appreciate how hard it is to stand at an expo, a hot expo for that, for 10 hours doing meet and greet when you're walking around 150, 200 pounds over what you naturally should be. It is extremely hard. And carrying that sort of body mass is uncomfortable. And being in that environment is incredibly uncomfortable. And it's draining, and at the end of the day, it's not what pays their bills. Competing pays their bills. And I've never, apart from a few, there has been exceptions, but in general, most pros I've ever approached at one of these shows have been friendly and receptive and gone out of the way to chat. So a lot moaned that there wasn't a lot of pros, and on the international scene, you're right, there wasn't. But there was a lot of homegrown talent. Sasan was there. Unfortunately, Jordan Peters couldn't stay because of a family emergency. Luke Sandow was there. Aaron Hudson was there. Josh Malley was there. There was plenty from the strongman world. Big Z, Thor, Benny Magnuson. Lauren Charley. So, there was plenty of big names. You just needed to look. Like I say, I split my time between Medichecks and Strong Nutrition. And I was on with there with Strong mainly because of the Support Max cycle product. And at certain points, there was pretty much the who's who of British bodybuilding round at Strong. It just seems to be the stand that all the cool kids wanted to hang out at. And that made it quite enjoyable. Benny popped round to say hello, and I haven't seen Benny in about 3 years. That man's calves still blows my mind. They are insanely big. They make Ben P's look like matchsticks. They are massive. And Benny, in his own usual way, is quite funny. So I said, had a good laugh. Tiring. Jordan couldn't do his seminar due to some ill health in a family member. I ended up stepping in with Scott Stevenson and doing a Q&A. And I really enjoyed it. It was a good laugh. They picked diet, which was probably my worst subject for information. But, hey-ho. So me and Scott chatted and had very, very similar approaches. It was quite strange. Him coming from a more scientific research angle and me coming from a more experience angle. But we pretty much ended up at the same point. I would have loved to have got more into training techniques or even into the drug question, but that's not allowed. Medichecks did approach bodypower about us doing a seminar on harm reduction, so purely on the dangers of usage and things to look for, and they refused to allow us to do it. This annoys me a little bit because they had a guy, somebody Smith, who did a presentation, and the first slide he put up, in bear in mind this is a family environment, particularly there's a lot of kids there, was how not to be a cunt. Not really apt. I mean, even I'm not that fucking tactless. But he has 250,000 followers on social media. I have 20, so you can see where the drive is there. And at the end of the day, bodypower's a business. I criticise them sometimes for not being as ethical as I'd like them to be. But at the same time, they give a stand area worth over £30,000 to Bodybuilding Evolution for free. So Mike and Alicia Gelsey put on Body Evolution every year, and it's basically for bodybuilders, and it ranges between seminars, Q&As, and training sessions. So they put Josh Mayliad did a thing, Aaron Hudson put some people through a training session, they put James Llewellyn through a training session, Math Tofton got put through one by Anth Bales. So, there was a lot going on there, and Bodypower give that for free. I've got to give a shout out to Ironborn Equipment and Limitless, because they provide the equipment for that area for free. And they brought this thing out, LFT, I think it's called. Excuse me. Hay fever's playing up. And you know what? It's not cheap. In fact, it's fucking expensive. But it's got to be the best bit of kit I've played on in years. It is so versatile. And lateral raises on this thing are phenomenal. If you're interested in it, and I don't normally plug things, but I generally get behind this bit of kit. It is fantastic. I saw the prototype about a year ago and had a play on it, and the production model is even better. If you look up limitlessgymequipment.com, and then you'll see it on there, and you'll see a video on how to use this thing. It's so versatile, from lateral raises to curls to shrugs to overhead press. They even had James Llewellyn using it for flies. Amazing bit of kit. Anyway, so we go on. So, like I said, I don't agree with Bodypower in certain aspects, and certain characters. I know Aaron Lambo had a strop through his microphone into the audience because basically the stand he was speaking on were taking the piss. Every time he went to use the mic, they turned the volume down, and I can understand that annoying him. I can. But if he wasn't such a dick in the first place, he wouldn't be such a target. And why would someone go to bodypower and feel the need to have bodyguards everywhere he went? That was just pathetic. Come on. Hey, each to their own. I don't agree with what he does. I don't agree with what he says. I think he's an absolute cock, but some people love him. Dorian was an arsehole as well. He had 3 slots at the Bodybuilding Revolution, and he didn't turn up for one of them. It might have even been 4 slots, to be honest. And I know Mike went round to see if he was willing to attend after he didn't show for 2, and basically the answer he got back was he couldn't be asked. You know, Dorian's a fantastic bodybuilder, amazing physique, amazing trainer, massive respect for what he achieved as a bodybuilder. But the more I learn about him as a person, the more I find myself disappointed. He's 21 years since he did anything. And Aaron Hudson quite rightly pointed out, you know, if he wants to stay relevant, he's got to make himself relevant. And he's just brought a book out, £100 a pop. You'd think he'd be wanting to promote it. But hey-ho, each to their own. So for me, mixed bag. Enjoyed my input in what I did. Enjoyed the interaction. Met a lot of people, which was always good. I had quite a laugh, but I wouldn't have been a paying customer, and I just wish that Bodypower would stick their neck aligned a little bit and support some things that we really as an industry should see, could do with seeing happening. But all in all, pretty good. One thing I would like to say is thank you for everyone that came up and said hello. And what was quite overwhelming was the amount of people that were thanking me for what I did. And I was genuinely touched by that. I didn't realise how much of an impact my ramblings and sat here chatting bollocks to a video camera actually had on people. And there was a large number of people that came up and said, you know, really thank you for what you're doing. You've helped keep me safe. I've learned a lot. And thank you. And that was massively rewarding, and I really appreciate that guy. In fact, the 2 doctors on the Medicheck stand basically said that they used me as a resource to learn because their training never went anywhere near. And that was very humbling. I was quite taken aback by that. I mean, I sit here and I put this information out, and yeah, there's 20,000 followers on the channel, which really in YouTube terms is fuck all. But you don't sort of realise the reality of that until you get into an environment where people that actually listen to you come up and say, hi, I listened to you, thank you very much. And it was shocking and very motivating actually to carry on. Very humbling, very humbling. So thanks guys, genuinely thank you for the support. It was great to see you. Oh yeah, I put this on one of the forums I'm on the Facebook pages I'm on, but please stop with the filters on your profile pics and the angles, because I don't fucking recognise you when you walk up and say, hi, I'm so-and-so from so-and-so, because you look fuck all like your picture. There were a couple of extreme examples, I won't mention names, but where people appeared to be substantially smaller and substantially uglier than they seem online. And, you know, embrace the ugliness. I have. I'm at one with my ugly mug. Fuck me, I can't really do much else with it. I don't think there's a filter strong enough to change this ugly bastard. But, you know, why? Because eventually you're going to have to meet people. And I'd rather appear ugly online and actually not look as bad in real life than filter the shit out of my pictures and then turn up and be sorely disappointing to the person I meet. And I think anyone who has arranged to meet any of the individuals off Facebook groups, online or such other, they really must be disappointed when they meet the real life person, because the filtering that's going on is fucking insane. And people genuinely just not only didn't just, it wasn't a case of there was a resemblance, they didn't look anything like their fucking filters. Some of them scarily so. Oh yes, and I got to meet. I got proposed to, shall I say? The stand next door to Strom was a ionizing bracelet thing, and the guy that was running that was extremely gay and extremely open, and he proposed to me, and part of his sales pitch was that he was an extremely good cook and kept a very clean house. I was flattered, and I don't understand. I seem to be attractive to gay people. Well, everyone to their own. At the end of the day, I couldn't give a flying fuck. Not for me though, so I politely declined. But he then spent the weekend sort of chasing me about, much to the amusement of other people. The zombies were very weird. There was 2 zombies wandering around that were particularly lifelike. I'm not quite sure why. One crept up behind Luke Sandall, and I think he found it quite disturbing. The look on his face was fucking priceless. But like I say, in general, it was all right, you know what I mean? It was good to meet people, and the feedback was fantastic. And the feedback we got for Support Max was also incredible. It would appear now that every British pro now uses this product and actively endorses this product. I mean, bottom line is, if you use gear, you should be using it. It's as simple as that. We didn't make this to make money. We made this as an ethic product. The profit margins on this aren't even worth fucking bothering about. I think the marketing budget costs more than the product itself, the profit made on the product. This was purely a nigh on a non-for-profit product, because we both me and Richard at Strom wanted to create something that was effective, and the blood results have borne out that that is the case. It is incredibly effective. So it was great to see the people getting behind that and support for that. That was incredible. And it was great to see Medichecks doing so well as well, and people taking a real proper interest in doing blood testing and keeping an eye on what's going on. It was heartwarming to actually see that people are getting the message and starting to look after themselves a little bit better. On a downside, I've received some reports, some studies through today, which I'll get into, but an overwhelming number of studies on damage to the brain from usage. I'm going to get into them over the next week. I've actually got a bit of time to myself this week for the first time in ages. So I'm going to get onto them this week, and I'll get a video up hopefully on Friday, because I'm office bound all day Friday because the car's in being rechipped. So I'll get into them on Friday and try and get a video up of what I'm finding out there. But it's pretty scary stuff, to be quite honest. And one of the issues with it is that the changes in brain cognitive function and recognition of risk, etc., just fuels further usage. So it's sort of self-manifesting. On other notes, I've been speaking at SBS in Australia. They're doing a news program coming up in regards to should the law be changed on steroids within Australia. It's currently what they call Schedule 1, Class A in the UK type thing, so completely banned. So I've been talking to them quite a bit. I jokingly said, just fly me out and you can interview me live. And they seem to be considering it. So I can't see it myself, but you never know. I might have a whistle-top tour over to Australia. They did ask for a lot of proof of what I do, that I worked in the course, that I'd spoken at certain levels. So I sent what I could, and it seemed to be enough for what they wanted. I'm not sure why they wanted that. And maybe they just want me credible before they stick my name under an interview, I don't know. But it'd be nice if I get to fly for the first time in my life. I've actually got something out of this shit. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty, really. Apart from being fucking knackered, I'm pretty good. Training's still going very well, though obviously I've missed a few days just recently. Still very intense. In fact, if anything, we're having to back off a little bit because we're just not recovering. I'm pretty much at the point now. I'm going to get my bloods run, but I think I'm going to have to opt for TRT at long last. I've held off as long as I could, but I think it's inevitable. It always was going to be. I was shocked I remained as recovered as well as I did for as long as I did. But it is what it is. It's no surprises. It'd be interesting to see if I get much of a change when I do go on TRT. So I'll get testing done this week, see where I am with that. And if need be, we will start on other fronts. I think that's about it. Yep, I think that is it. Out to Belgium next week to see clients. Apart from that, not much else going on. So take care, guys. And like I said, I'll get some proper content up this week. Now I've got a bit of time. Speak to you all later. Oh, forgot. Now, 3 years ago, I spoke about the scourge that was Jim Shark. And not particularly about the physique of these guys, but the attitudes that these skinny little legged fuckers had when they wandered around Bodypower, thinking they were literally in packs, thinking they were 10 men. Then last year, it was wannabe strongmen, basically fat folks that didn't really train but wore explosive weight and stunk, and claimed to be strongmen. Now, we had none of that this year. There was no real standout groups moving about, but one. And that was this insistence, particularly female, on lip fillers. Now, I liken the lip filler phenomenon very much to synthol. A little bit used in the right places can completely transform a physique. Flex Wheeler was a master at it. And the balance and just, making the most of what nature gives you is one thing, and it can really complement. But when your lips start to look like a pair of trampled slugs, you're possibly going a bit too far, my dear. And there was definitely a large number of fucked up mouths walking around Bodypower this year. And, we all take the piss out of these synthol idiots that deform themselves and look like fucking strange blow-up balloon dolls. But ladies, you're doing it to your faces with your lips. Some of them are fucking horrendous. It's bordering on frigging scary. You don't need it. A little bit of fullness, I understand. Crack on. But Jesus Christ, don't make it look like you've had your lips stomped out by a fucking baseball bat. It just ain't doing it for you. It really ain't, love. Walk away. Right, on that note, I'll fuck off. Take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.